at 6.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Brian Mastery.
And I'm Erin Sullivan. Let's get right into your top 6 headlines at 6.
Representatives of the Omaha Tribe of Nebraska calling for changes to the state's tobacco tax compact at the state capitol today. They want to put guardrails on negotiations with Governor Pillen, preventing him from using unrelated topics as leverage. Tribe's Attorney General believes one of those unrelated topics could be their foray into medical cannabis. The tribe is fast-tracking that.
Our higher education system's got to quit being a fat sow.
Governor Jim Pillen calling for more efficiency in the University of Nebraska system. The governor claims the state funds higher education at a much higher rate than neighboring states. The university system cut millions from its 4 campuses last year and cut academic programs to help close a budget shortfall.
The Nebraska Board of Regents approving an $800 million deal this afternoon. It will see the university buy out Clarkson Regional Health stake in Nebraska Medicine and some of Clarkson's land and buildings.
President Trump is threatening to impose the Insurrection Act as protests continue in Minneapolis over an immigration crackdown. That would mean the president could use the military to quell protests.
2 granddaughters of a former restaurant owner are facing charges for allegedly stealing more than $500,000 combined from their grandmother's trust. Court records say the money was taken from Caterina Mallara, the owner of Malara's. It's an Italian restaurant in Omaha that closed in 2023.
Crews breaking ground on a $60 million apartment complex near 21st and Pacific. They're hoping to add affordable housing to the neighborhood. Developers say rent for all 156 units will be based on a range of income levels, starting at 30% of the area's median income.